July 24th, 2025, 9 a.m. At a small airport in Russia, passengers were preparing to board their flights. The terminal at Polyarny Airport was full but quiet. Just a soft hum of conversation, children's laughter, and the distant growl of engines. It was one of those moments when no one knew that soon all of this, everything, would fall silent. There were 42 passengers on board this flight. Many were traveling to visit loved ones. Some were headed out for work, others for a short vacation. But there was one family that stood out. This is the story of the Ivanov family. 34-year-old Sergei Ivanov, his wife Anna, and their 2 children, 6-year-old Misha and 3-year-old Katya. Sergei was a contractor, returning home after several weeks away. Anna had promised to cook his favorite meal. And little Katya, she kept asking her mother, over and over again, "When will Papa?" But when life decides to betray you, no one sees it coming. At 10:15 a.m., Angara Airlines Flight 301 took off from the runway. The aircraft was an Antonov An-24, an aging bird that had been flying the skies for over 50 years. The weather was clear at first, but as the plane moved closer to its destination, the sky began to change. Clouds grew heavier, and by the time it neared Tynda Airport, a thick fog had settled in. This was the moment when fate began to play a dangerous game. It was early afternoon, and the plane was nearing the end of its journey. Inside the cockpit, the voices of the pilot and co-pilot revealed growing unease. "We can't see the runway," the co-pilot said hesitantly. The pilot took a deep breath, grabbed the radio, and contacted the control tower. "Visibility is 0. Landing feels risky." The tower responded, "You may return if you wish, or attempt a second approach." The pilot paused for a moment, then said, "We'll try again." It was a decision that would become the difference between life and death. The aircraft descended once more, through clouds, into the fog. Alarms started blaring in the cockpit. "Pull up! Pull up!" The pilot gripped the controls tightly. Sweat dripped down his forehead. The co-pilot muttered, "We still can't see the runway, sir." The pilot said just one word, "Hold on." Meanwhile, inside the cabin, the atmosphere had changed. Passengers were tightening their seatbelts. Some looked nervously out the windows, but all they could see was blinding white fog. A mother clutched her child tightly. The little boy cried, "Mama, where are we going?" She smiled faintly and replied, "We're going home, sweetheart." Behind them, an elderly man closed his eyes and whispered a silent prayer. There was a scent of fear in the air, but still, in every heart, a flicker of hope remained. Then suddenly, a jolt. The pilot pulled the controls one last time, hard, but it was already too late. For a brief second, silence filled the cockpit. And then, a thunderous explosion, screams, and nothing. Time seemed to stop. The roaring engines were swallowed by the fog, and a violent crash echoed through the forest. The aircraft struck dense trees about 15 kilometers from Tynda Airport. The crash was so horrific. Debris scattered hundreds of meters across the woods. No one survived. In just a few seconds, every dream, every life was gone. The investigation began. The question was clear. Why did this happen? The preliminary report revealed two major causes. 1. Bad weather. The dense fog made landing impossible. 2. Human error. The pilot made a delayed decision during landing. But, was that all? The truth is, outdated aircraft like the Antonov An-24 are still flying in Russia today. Aviation experts have warned for years that these planes are no longer airworthy. Yet, they were never grounded. And so the question still haunts us. Was this just an accident, or a failure of the entire system? Russia declared 3 days of national mourning. News of the crash spread across the world. People sent their prayers, their eyes filled with tears, and their hearts heavy with fear. But what about the families, shattered in a single moment? The Ivanov family now exists only in photographs. The smiles of Misha and Katya are forever silent. This tragedy leaves us with a powerful reminder. Life is fragile, and negligence is deadly. One outdated aircraft, one dangerous decision, and 48 lives lost. Could this disaster have